I like that. Already I don't like it. I don't like it. Go away, man. All right, take 47. In this video, let's chat about how I wrote Fallout with Nathan Smoker and PVC. It just came out of my recent EP called The Unswung Hero. Yeah, pretty cool tune. Kind of minimal, a bit on the darker side. Yeah, lots of cool stuff to get into. Remember, it's just an overview video. I'm just gonna go broadly over, things that I did to make it sound the way it sounds, and some interesting stuff along the way. But if there's something specific you want to know, just stick it in the comments. Be happy to follow up with that. Other housekeeping, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. If you've liked this, link in the description to sign up for the breaking newsletter. That way you can get some updates and stuff from me periodically. I'm not going to flood your email inbox with a bunch of junk, algorithms and that, trying to get around it or surpass it in a way so you can see what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Have I said everything I need to say, Kat? All right, I guess I have. Anyway, let's chat about this tune. All right, headphones on. We are in the DAW. Studio 16 as usual. Duncan, Studio 17's out. What do you think? Nothing really. I don't need any of it. Looks cool though. So this is the project, more or less. Quick deal. Drums are at the top. These predominantly blue parts. The bass is literally just one sound. And then, it's green. Some melodic bits in this red and this purple. And then the vocals are all of this bit right here. With some effects in there to taste. Your whooshes, your washes, your risers, ups, downs, all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't heard the tune, I'll play a little bit of it. Go stream it, all that stuff. I'm going to get flagged on my own song, but you know how YouTube works. If you want to see this without any of the YouTube ads or the problems, go over to Patreon, link in the description. I'm talking too much. Play the tune.
Conversations feeling like I'm steady on repeat, and I've been heavy on my feet, just trying to please them. All these blurred visions between daydreams and reality, slowly losing patience of everything I believe in. Still changing every season, faded for no reason, and I'm almost there. Still self-indulgent cause they never cared. They said life was never fair, but then they handed me the keys, and then I got my head square, started looking after me like
wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make it right. About time that I take mine. Guess I'm ready for the fallout. People, they come and go.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Plus Lil Cat cameo. As soon as I start talking or recording or basically doing anything that isn't paying attention to him, he pops up. He is the manager though, so he makes these things happen. Is how it goes. All right, so let's talk about drums. Pretty simple. Make a little loop. Yeah, really simple. So let's go kick snare because that's the important part, usually. Normal two-step beat. Nothing crazy. Snares, a couple different layers. I think there's like a snap, rim shot, and then it's like this reverse thing. Yeah, just leads into the next. Kick, nothing special. It was basically just the stem or the loop from the track I took it from. Some percussion bits, still hi-hat loops. Again, like why rehash? Why reinvent the wheel? Just use the good stuff you already made, It's been some years, no one would know. And if you did, oh well. Shuffles, hats. Some, think break layers. Even this one is taken from BNTL, Better Nate Than Lever. That tune. Some shakers and stuff here and there. My usual one. Breaking news, shaker. Bit of rhythmic stuff. Some processing so it doesn't sound. That's normal. That's basically the same with a bit of a delay from Valhalla Supermassive. Just to give it a bit more, character. It feels like a couple different shakers instead of one loop, that kind of thing. Other than that, with drums, before I get into processing, which is probably what you want to know. Sandwood Nights, 909 ride. Simple enough. Second half, we know the drop sounds a bit different. Drum groove is about the same. Yeah, because we know this half it's different than the beginning half. I'm gonna play the instrumental without the vocals. Yeah, so little swells and stuff here and there, but more or less the same. All right. So if we dig into a bit of processing, there's like the snare group. All it has is a bit of compression, native instrument, solid bus comp, some reverb, ambience reverb, K-clip because it was spiky. See, I'm cutting out a lot there. With rim shots, you usually have like really, really strong transient to the point where it's like you don't hear it, but it'll kind of mess up your plugins in a way. That's a terrible way to put it, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's taking away a crazy peak that doesn't need to be there and doesn't really affect the sound. So we clip it, K-clip, or a limiter or anything like that. Really tame the sound. Yeah, kick has nothing on it. If you want to know how like the kick was, I'm pretty sure the kick was layered, but go back to that. It's on the channel some years back. If you scroll, Demagog's breakdown, it's probably where I did all the layering and stuff because it has some good, nice character to it, but I don't have the stems in this project. Percussion, usually a little bit of compression. There's a saturation, EQ, that kind of stuff. Let me go back here. Yep, so this is just a high pass EQ. Get rid of the super low bits. There's no graphic, but it kind of does it with the shuffles. Little radiator from Sound Toys, which might crash. I don't want to use it. We got a compressor. Just kind of taming the sound, kilohertz. Basically, if you have phase plant, you probably have this one. EQ, again. Mixing, just kind of making sure all the low junk is out of there. And then my side chains to my kick and the snare because that's what this track calls for. Remember, you can side chain any kind of way. Some people love just drawing it in automation or using something like Volume Shaper. I do this. I don't need it to be too techy. So that's kick. The other one's snare, which isn't playing. Just to make a momentary space for those transients to pop through. Then we have processing on everything, which it looks like a lot. It's not. I love putting reverb on first. I really just stick this vintage verb on from Valhalla. I just have my own preset, which is based off the ambience, very small. Just adds a bit of air. Then we have Noise by Denise. Or it's not. What is this? Is it Denise? I can't remember what it is. It's Noise too. Yeah, it's Denise. Never mind. Turn it up really high. It just adds a bit of crunch. And as I start to compress it, you hear it more. Supercharger. Compression, saturation. Push it hard. Cool effect. Radiator, again, more saturation. EQ, sweeten the highs with a bit of shelf. Take a little bit out of the 650 hertz range. Balance, that's all it is. Nothing scientific about it. Some peaks here and there in this EQ. Why is it so large? Taming the highs, dynamic EQ. And a little bit of the lows, also dynamic EQ. Sibilance, because you just get it just kind of helps tame the harsher ranges. And then K-clip. As you see, everything's pretty subtle. It's just taming and kind of focusing the sound. It's not doing anything crazy. If I take all the plugins off, it pretty much sounds the same. But when I put them on, it keeps everything sounding consistent. K-clip, little off the top. as they say. Some EQ, get rid of the really low stuff. Then final limiter. So zone maximizer. Yeah, I really just like how it sounds on drums and most things, to be fair. And then some other like utility plugins so I can visualize what I'm doing. I like doing this so I can see exactly usually what peaks I'm chopping off. Because if I take off the limiter in K-clip, it looks very spiky, right? Now I put K-clip on, tames it a bit, maximizer on. Nice and chunky waveform without really killing the sound. It's just takes off those peaks that I don't need, makes mastering job easier. I didn't master this tune. Shout out Newtone. Yeah, that's kind of it. As far as drums go, let's dip into the bass, which is just nothing interesting at all. Like if you watch any of these, my bass is usually the same every single time, so I'm not going to dive into it. I can literally explain it. All it is silent. It's a triangle wave, low pass. Why would you need to low pass it? I'll tell you in a bit. And then some saturation through trash 2, a little bit of compression also in trash 2, just to make sure it stays consistent, because sometimes, you know, there's volume differences, whether it's the envelope of the sound or, you know, different frequencies sound a bit louder, poke out, that kind of thing. So it just pins it down. A little bit more saturation here and there, and I'll show you in a second on the bus level. And that's it. That's literally it. It's just a nice, warm, low-end sub. It's nothing to write home about. But if you have nothing to put in that letter to mom, tell them you learned about saturation and how Duncan just uses the same sounds all over and over. Anyway, back to the project. Another layer of saturation, in trash. Delicate harmonics, barely pushed. Just helps it speak a bit more. I'll play it without it. You can already kind of hear it. I'm just really making subtle pushes to bring out the harmonic quality, the overtones, more specific. Now trash, adding the saturation and some compression. Let's see how that sounds. Compression helps pin it down, like 3 to 4. Well, actually like 1 to 3 decibels of compression, depending on the note. EQ to low pass, because it was bringing out a bit more of the overtones. Harmonic and overtones interchangeable, but you know. And then yeah, that's it. In the second half, it's basically the same sound. I bounced it out, but remember it's doing the swells and stuff, kind of character change. I bounced the audio, kind of chopped each thing, and basically used the fade curves to make the envelope. I could have done it a different way, but this was fine. Yeah, because if we played it all together. And as you can see, like I did the same thing with the sample that we'll get to later. Yeah, just something to make it interesting, but sound design wise, nothing different. Yeah, how's it sounding so far? Is it kind of helping you put the pieces together? Honestly, this tune is pretty simple. Drums are simple, bass line's obviously simple. Once I figured out the sample, which I'll chat about in a second, that was fine. The most work was kind of some vocal stuff, and PVC and Nathan Smoker mostly did all their own production, and I kind of edited together and added a little bit of flair as we continue. So remember, if you're getting some value from this, let me know in the comments. If you like it, put it down there. If you don't like it, put it down there. If you think it could, I don't know, just anything, you know, get a little bit of back and forth, little bit of conversation. Remember, subscribe, like all that stuff. Just, you know, feedback helps. And Patreon and all the good stuff in the comments. Back to it. So we have this sample. It's Denver Oldham, Little Indian. All these samples are usually from Tracklib. So easy. There you go. Duncan, why'd you sample this? You could have just played it. Yeah, I know. I didn't feel like it. Yeah, that's basically it. All right. So I took a lot of different parts out of this tune to make the intro and the main riff, pitched it down, all that good stuff. Layer the sample. So you have like, you know, just one chord, some delays, all that good stuff. Next section. Yep, and each little block in different colors is usually a variation. What's this? Yeah, that's when I was kind of putting it all together. Yeah, bunch of different parts. You know, you got to try a lot of different things before you find the one that works. Nothing crazy here as far as sampling goes. It looks super clipped because it's zoomed in. The chops are just to make sure it lines up in time. I didn't really do any time stretching, like just minor stuff here and there, but I mostly just chopped it. Plus, it was already in tempo. No, it wasn't. Lies. It just didn't need a lot of work. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. So from there's some processing on it just to give it the sound. A little bit of compression. All my windows are like off screen. It's weird. You have your filter as usual. EQ. Balance. Character. Delay. Sausage fattener for taste. Pull it all together. You know how it goes. Soothe too for some peaks and whatnot. You know, your usually resonances. Piano enhancer preset with some tweaks. Nothing crazy. And then the filter. Because it's not liquid without a filter. Anyway, some peaks and stuff for after the filter because it was a bit resonant, but you know, place it before the filter, you're not getting that sound. All these kind of things. It's more of a mixing choice as I started to add stuff. Give it some beef, which is the low end. It feels together. What I do to, you know, figure out a bass line when it comes to samples is, for me, I just listen. I kind of hear what I need, what it needs to be changed. Sometimes you have samples that are a little bit, you know, they're not perfectly in tune, depending on how it's recorded or how it's, you know, archived. Sometimes it's a vinyl rip and the thing, like the pitch varies. Think about Thinking of You, that tune. Yeah, but this one was pretty on the money. I just added a nice bass line that follows, you know, the bass line that's already in the tune, or an assumed bass line. But, you know, there are things that can help if you can't really hear what goes right. I don't know, lots of messing around. I know I played with a like piano patch to kind of figure things out because I thought about recording it or re-recording it as well. Experiment, trust your ear. If you really don't know, ask somebody. If you want, ask me. Yeah. That's it. Remember, in the second half, it's the same riff, but with some edits. So I'm kind of taking, you know, every quarter, dun, 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 and I'm just like chopping it, reversing it, and I'm sort of dismantling the chord progression in a way. Like the first two chords or the first two notes, whatever, da da, you know, that comes from the beginning because it's da na 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 na. So I'm taking the first two and then kind of abstracting the middle and then bringing it back every so often. And then we know, you know, 32 bars later, you get a cleaner version. So, you know, I'm emphasizing different beats, emphasizing different moments. The rhythm changes kind of on a micro level. Is it macro? Micro, one of those level, both at the same time. But what you get is a different feel. And as you add the other parts, yeah, see like how it's kind of playing off of each other. You know, you get nothing on the downbeat because that's when you get the da-da, and then the bass kicks in for like the droney kind of middle area. Plus you have like the ride hi-hat also playing the same thing. If you just look, see what's lining up. Nothing, nothing. Ding, ding. Ding, ding. Yeah. And even in the vocals, if I add in Nathan's vocals, you'll hear it. Wrong part. Let's go back to this part. That's the breakdown. Here.
Wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make it right. About time that I take mine. Guess I'm ready for the...
So everything kind of, you know, it lets like the downbeat kind of breathe. So you anticipate beats 2, 3, and 4. And what's cool is like Nathan took that, like picked up on that as well, added the lyrics kind of interspersed in between, but still let the downbeat breathe. And it creates a sort of anticipation and forward momentum that I like putting in tunes because, you know, I am the Sultan of Swing. I don't want to say king because somebody will be mad that I'm like, oh, you're not the King Dillinger's. Like, get out of here, man. Anyway, that's the melodic bits, bass and drums. So as usual with these things, like the vocals came last. Instrumental was kind of an idea, a sketch for quite some time, about a year, I want to say, maybe a little bit less because I started this project March 9th, 2023. And then it came out September 9th, I think. Anyway, yeah, it was just kind of a cool, you know, I wanted to try and make something simple for me because, you know, it's like if you're aware of me, I like adding a lot of drums and a lot of ideas and really making things like weave in and out and the groove and all that. And this is just kind of simple, sounds good, big open space. Profit, you know? And then the vocals really pulled it together because as an instrumental, it's not that remarkable, to be honest. But yeah, most things are, you know, more than the sum of their parts and stuff like that. Anyway, do you like the tune? Is it okay? Let's dive into the vocals, then I'm out of here. So we got vocals, we got PVC, then we have Nathan's. So we have PVC's main vocals in yellow, his ad-libs in green, some other stuff I ended up not using or like taking apart, or there's a lot of stuff I didn't use. But I love when I get like loads of different parts so I can kind of put it all together. Also, Nathan's down here in purple. He did loads of production himself, which really helped tie it all together. Collab work, group work, it's always nice when everyone brings their ideas to really make, you know, to really serve the main idea, which is making a solid tune. You know what I mean? So PVC, let's see what I did with his stuff.
Emotions come and go like the latest trends. Don't want to get involved because I know just how it ends. I'm on a fence
Little
with
bit
one
of
side, but
processing.
it is bad influence. And
Mostly saturation. Like he had it like super clean already.
emotions come and go like fence with one
Ad-libs here
side,
and
but
there.
it is bad influence. And then the other side just doesn't make sense. No path and no direction, self-indulgent to the death of me. Respectfully cold-hearted because they only want my energy, I swear. It's nothing new and nothing.
Yeah, he just gave me little ad-libs, like punch in the middle. And, you know, I took it. I like playing with the stereo field. So we have left and right. We have some, you know, wide vocals.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, tickles the ear. Sounds nice. We have these little fills towards the end.
Started looking after me like...
Yeah, super deep growly thing. You feel it. It's a texture. Like you're not hearing it, but if I play it all together. All together now.
My head square started looking after me like...
Yeah. Simple enough. Anything on the other end?
Remember times when life would leave me broken, unprovoked with no hope and no signs of us growing. Thought that I was strong and figured the higher mighty chose me, but I came too self-indulgent and decided I should show them what I'm made of. Now I'm masked off like Vader.
Masked up like Vader and have the deep, Darth Vader sound. Anyway, yeah, if you look at my vocal, group, all these vocals are, grouped together by what they are, a little bit of processing and time together. Ad-libs are all together. His mains are all together. All of his vocals, the ad-libs, the mains, whatever else, goes to one. Make a little group for, organization purposes, plus a little bit of saturation and EQ to tie them together. And then they're all sent to just the main, reverb send that goes through the vocal bus. So is Nathan's. That's it. Like, when the performance is as good as this, like, I don't have to do anything. Nathan's vocals, super nice as well. Just some EQ to fit it into the mix here and there. Some panning for harmonies and stuff that he already did himself. But yeah, just a lot of it's already done. Like, everyone makes each other's job easy. So you can just throw the tune together.
Wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make it right. About time I take my
high pitch left rights. I talked about the drums. Get out of the way. We got the oohs. I love them. They were down the middle at first, but I wanted to make them really wide, kind of emphasize the next section happening. Background vocals and stuff.
make it right.
You got some panning going on. Yeah, I love just having stuff pan in the background.
Make it right.
Really helps fill up the stereo field and make things sound a bit fuller than they are.
People, they come and go. So bad energy, kill it off.
Yeah. And all together you get, for the vocals,
Handed me the keys and then I got my head square, started looking after me like
wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make it right.
So if you notice, PVC's vocals are super dry, and then Nathan's are very reverberant and delayed and affected. So that contrast really helps, bring out chorus versus verse, and just an overall feel. Like when PVC's rapping, it's dry, it's in your face, it's up front, and when Nathan is singing, it's wide and spacious, and it feels just as much as a vocal to pay attention to, as much as instruments in the field all working together. So yeah, if I add the melodic bits back in, no drums.
handed me the keys and then I got my head square, started looking after me like
wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make.
Yeah, everything's working together. I didn't really go over this atmospheric stuff. There's a couple strings and what's this? High-pitched string, just samples and stuff to kind of dot pictures here and there. Really high-pitched string, a lot of bow noise. This is labs. It comes from something in there, but it's all audio right now. And then some atmosphere texture bits outside. Street sounds with delays and stuff. I bounced it. So really to kind of tie this all together, and like the Fallout theme, I kind of finished this up around the time the show Fallout came. The Fallout show came out, based on the game, whatever. I've played the game a bit. I never got into it as much as like other people, but I was kind of working on this at the same time, and I was like, why not put some old like 50s, 60s, duck and cover kind of things on it. So, if you're aware of those, they're kind of funny. Just basically found on like Internet Archive. It's public domain, so I can sample it without any issue.
Danger will come not just from blast. Watch and listen.
Yeah, one of these PSAs.
One day, these facts may
save your life. Anyway, and then the tune happened.
You need to know about fallout and what to do to protect yourself against it.
Yep, so if, You know, even like the background, some of the pads are from the song. Yeah, Fallout video strings. Yeah, it's the creepy background music. There's an explosion, you know. Yeah, all right, that's all the Fallout. A lot of rambling, a lot of, you know, the usual, but you see how it came together. If you have any questions, remember, stick them down in the comments. Let me know. If you want to see a follow-up video over something specific, let me know. There's a couple little bits in here. I might go into some of the edit choices for the second half. Maybe some of the vocal work if you want to know. This one's just really simple. It's a easy tune. It's more for listening purposes versus like a club banger. You know what I mean? That's about it. I'm done. Gonna make something else. Let's see how it goes. But
wrong place at the wrong time. I'm out here trying to make it right. About time that I take mine. Guess I'm ready for the fallout.